The Galactic Council Hall was designed to show power, and for thousands of years, it worked on every species that entered it. Massive pillars of crystal glowed above hundreds of alien delegates, each one representing civilizations older and stronger than most stars. In the center of the hall stood one figure that looked completely out of place. A human. Ambassador Elias. Moore wore a simple black suit with no armor and no visible technology.
They were wrong.
He stood alone while every other species sat behind shields, guards, or biological defenses. Many of them were already amused. Some were openly laughing. The Krellith speaker leaned forward and spoke in a calm but mocking tone. It asked if this fragile species truly believed it deserved protection under Galactic Council law. According to their records, humans had weak bodies, no natural weapons, no genetic upgrades, and a very small fleet. The speaker said it was difficult to understand why a species like this was even allowed to speak in the council hall. The Dravok warlord joined in and said humans were biologically unfit for large-scale war. He pointed out that humanity had only recently reached interstellar travel and had already suffered heavy losses. He asked why the council should waste time on a species that clearly would not survive the coming conflict. Elias listened without reacting. When he finally spoke, his voice was steady and calm. He said humanity was not asking for protection because it was weak. The room reacted with confusion and more laughter. The Dravok demanded an explanation. Elias said they were there because a threat was approaching that the council had failed to stop before. He named the Verkai and described them as an extinction force rather than an empire. The laughter faded as the name spread through the hall. Everyone in the council knew the Verkai. Entire civilizations had vanished because of them. The speaker replied that the council had faced the Verkai in the past and survived, even if the cost was high. Elias answered that the council survived by sacrificing smaller species. He said humans understood that this was how the galaxy worked, and that was why no one here was worried about humanity's future. Elias then said something that made the room quiet. He said humans did not survive because they were strong, but because they adapted faster than anyone else. Many delegates dismissed this as meaningless talk. Elias explained that on Earth, survival had never been guaranteed. Humans lived on a planet that constantly tried to kill them with disease, predators, and disasters. Instead of evolving stronger bodies, humans learned to change their methods. Elias activated a small device and shared combat footage from the first Verkai attack on human space. The video showed human colonies, banners collapsing, millions died. The council had seen scenes like this before and expected the footage to end there. The next part showed human ships returning to battle using modified weapons and improvised tactics. Civilian ships were converted into war vessels. Engineers worked without rest, adapting systems during combat. The Verkai formations began to fail. The final clip showed a human pilot destroying a Verkai command ship by overloading his own reactor. From inside the enemy vessel, the hall fell completely silent. The speaker said humans had turned suicide into a weapon. Elias corrected him. He said humans had turned choice into a weapon. He explained that humans did not create soldiers through genetic control or forced loyalty. Every human who fought did so knowing the risk and accepting it. The Dravok asked why humans would choose death so easily. Elias answered that humans did not seek death. But when everything was taken from them, they focused on making sure the enemy never returned. Eligas Council's had no clothes, no natural or more ancient empire. But this also meant humans had nothing to lose. That made them unpredictable and dangerous. The council began reviewing the data in silence. The speaker finally announced that the council would vote on humanity's request for protection. Elias accepted the decision. Before ending the session, the speaker asked one final question. If humanity was truly this dangerous, why ask for protection at all? Elias answered that if humans fought the Verkai alone, they would eventually win. He said the only reason they asked for protection was because they were unsure what kind of species they would become if they were forced to fight alone. The Council had no response. For the first time in its long history, the Galactic Council, Bavanalai,